Hey guys, so this is your how-to guide to using long division. So what is long division? So long division, as it says, is a way to solve problems with larger numbers. So it's the same kind of process. As you can see from the picture, it looks very similar to short division, but it's a lot easier to process how to work out bigger questions with bigger numbers, because you rely less on the mental maths in your head and more on actually having a written down method to talk you through it. So this guide will give you a number of steps for you to follow. Watch it as many times as you need, try it with lots of different types of questions, and hopefully it will increase your understanding of how to do it. So let's get to it. So step one, you need to work out how many 16s go into 2. Since the 2 is obviously smaller than the 16, it's impossible to divide and still produce a whole number. So instead we look at the first 2 numbers of the quotient, so 21 in this case, and we say how many 16s go into 21. So hopefully you've noticed that one lot of 16 goes into 21, and because we needed to use the 1 and the 2, so have the 21, the answer that 1/16 fits into 21 goes above the hundreds column. Step 2, we now multiply our divisor by our answer from the last step. So in this case, 16 times 1. We then write this answer underneath the 21. If you need to pause the video at any time and double check anything, absolutely fine, obviously, okay? Okay, step 3. So next we're going to work out 21 take away 16, which gives us 5, and we write that 5 underneath as the white number 5 is on your screen. Okay, this is the final step in the sequence, then we need to repeat all the steps once again. So we have a look at the next digit in the quotient, and it is 4. So we bring the 4 down, where the arrow is pointing, alongside the 5 that we had left. And that gives a new number of 54. And then we need to repeat the steps again with the new number 54. So we're back to step 1. So repeat the step, if this time apart from we're looking at different numbers. So how many times does 16 go into 54? So it goes in 3 times. So we have 16, 32, 48. Sometimes some of you might like to write down some of the times tables of the bigger number and try and work them out before starting. I'd say if you could write down 5 lots of the number you're dividing, the divisor, before starting these long division questions, it can really help. So how many times does 16 go into 54? 3 times, which gives us 48. And then, similar to before, step 2 again, we now multiply our divisor by our answer from the last step. So 16 times 3, which gives us 48, and we put that 48 under the 54. Now we need to work out the remainder. So 54 take away 48 is 6. And I've brought in step 4 into this one as well. And then we've got 1 digit left in the quotient, which is 8. So we bring that 8 down, and we're left with 68 to play with. So how many times does 16 go into 68? It goes in 4 times. So we move the 4 to the top of your line. And then we multiply the divisor by the number again, so 16 times 4, and that gives us 64. So we write 64 under 68, and we work out what's left. Hopefully you can see how many are left. And as you can see, 68 take away 64 gives us 4. So that is our final number that's left, and 16 doesn't fit into 4, so that will become a remainder. On the long division questions, don't worry about putting it into a decimal place unless you feel really confident in it, but it's not necessary for the long division questions. So like I said before, repeat through the steps. I would now, if I were you, go back and watch the film again, this time writing down every single step of the way as you go, and then the third time, try it with your own numbers and see how far you get. If you've got any questions, let your teacher know.